First, the serious stuff. The Bongino rule strikes again. Listen, I cannot emphasize enough to you how important it is to not jump on the left-wing activist media bandwagon the first time they find a story and bloodshed or whatever it may be that they can use to attack conservatives. It's disgusting. It's grotesque. It is one of the worst characteristics of modern society is our grotesque left-wing media using dead bodies and everything else to try to censor and attack others. You see it everywhere. On the Trump era, they doubled and tripled down on all of it. What am I talking about? It was just horrible tragedy in Colorado Springs. An attacker walks into a bar, starts shooting people. The bar had some gay patrons there. So the media, of course, without having almost any of the facts at all, what do you think happened? Of course, what happens every time? Tucker Carlson did it. And you're like, he did? Tucker Carlson, did they have that on video? I didn't see Tucker. I mean, you would think the hair would stand out. That's weird. I didn't see that. Bodies hadn't even been buried. And the disgusting media, of course, couldn't wait to tell you a story, not the story about Colorado Springs. So a story they wanted to tell you was that those right-wingers, because they've exposed Drag Queen Story Hour and the sexualization of kids, this guy who shot up the gay bar did it because of them. They may have paid him. They incentivized him. They told him to do it. Subliminal messages. Really? It's interesting because the story's kind of changed a little bit now. Now the alleged attacker in the case says that they want to be identified by they, them pronouns and is non-binary. So this person wants to identify by they, them pronouns. So all of a sudden the media seems quite confused, Joseph, what to do.
Wow.
Gosh, doesn't sound like Tucker Carlson would tell this person to identify by they, them pronouns.
I don't think so.
Here's CNN. There, you cut this morning, so you saw it.
Yeah.
They're really confused, Allison Camerata. She doesn't know what to do because a story they wanted to tell you doesn't correspond to the story that's apparently materializing now. Here's Allison Camerata from CNN. She don't know what to say. Matter of fact, she even says, I don't know what to say. Check this out.
Attorneys for the accused shooter, Anderson Lee Aldrich, say in new court filings tonight that the suspect now identifies as non-binary. In a footnote to a motion asserting legal privileges, the public defenders say, quote, Anderson Aldrich is non-binary. They use they, them pronouns, and for the purposes of all formal filings will be addressed as Mix Aldrich. So in other words, not Mr. or Ms. Joining me now, CNN political commentator Errol Lewis, also back with me, Al Franken and Joe Walsh. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that's not anything that we had heard from his background. You know, people have been looking into his background, and I don't know if anybody here, are you guys lawyers? I mean, you know, I don't know if, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that's what he's now saying.
It sounds like they're trying to prepare a defense against a hate crimes charge. That's the least of his problems, legally speaking, but it looks like they're trying to build some kind of sympathy or at least confusion on the question of whether or not this was purely motivated by hate.
I mean, that is what it sounds like. We'll wait to see.
Now they'll wait. You hear that at the end, Joe? Now they'll wait and see. Now you'll
caught that. Yeah.
You wait and see. Yeah, of course, it's only, 48 hours. And now you decide to kind of wait and see. Maybe do what we do, which is just report the story. There was a tragedy at a Club Q bar in Colorado Springs. Here's what happened. And maybe tell the story and wait on a story until you actually have a story that corresponds with this story. Just an idea. Now, I played that and I gave you the end part of that for a reason. It's possible that the guy's attorney told him, listen, you're going to get charged with a hate crime. You may get the death penalty. I'm not sure how that'll work, what the charging process is going to look like out there in Colorado Springs. So you should say that you're, a non-binary, and therefore you'll be able to, try to refute this hate crime. It's possible. I put that in there for a reason. The reason I put that in there is because I'm interested in the story, not a story. Why do you listen to these people? Not you, my conservative audience, but to the liberals who listen. I know you're there. I get your hate mail. Why do you listen to these people? They lie to you all the time. Do you want to be lied to? I don't understand. Are you so eager to have Tucker Carlson and right-wing conservatives like Matt Walsh and others censored that you're willing to tell yourself a fairy tale while there's blood on the ground? I mean, actual blood on the ground and people still being buried. Did you know how disgusting you are? Do you have any idea what kind of a degenerate loser you have to be to do that? Wasn't the only one. There is no amount of bloodshed, by the way, that will trouble these media lunatics enough to try to do their jobs and tell the truth first. None. There is none. They are so committed to censoring and attacking you. There is nothing, there is no basement level to their depravity. Challenge them. Make them tell the truth. Pay very close attention to the Bongino rule. I get this question sometimes on the show. People post it on my Facebook messages and stuff. They'll say, you know, Dan, this tragedy happened. Why didn't you report on it today? I mean, sometimes we do, but sometimes we wait. Sometimes we wait because we think the facts matter. Now, this wasn't it, folks. There's more? Oh, yeah, there's more. My guy Cernovich here, good guy on Twitter, posted this one. So there was another attack caught on tape in New York City. Did you hear about this one? A guy walks up to a bar on video. It's a gay bar, throws a brick at the window. Oh, Joe, there you go. That's ripe for a story, isn't it?
There it is.
This is Tucker Carlson attacking the gay bar with a brick. You know, he was. Ads are all over the place. Twitter people calling for everyone to be banned again. Ban Matt Walsh, ban Tucker Carlson, ban libs of TikTok. Violent Fox News watching attacker. There was a brick at a gay bar. That one fell apart too. As Cernovich notes, this guy's being charged with only 3 or 4 recent attacks at the bar because cops don't have video surveillance. Of one of the incidents, the alleged attacker says, "I'm gay myself." Apparently, according to the report here in the New York Post, was angry at someone in the bar. Don't let that get in the way of your story, however. It never ends, folks. It never, ever ends. Do not trust these people ever. Remember the golden rule. They are telling you a story, not the story.
Poor Tucker, boy. I tell you, he's getting his ass kicked here lately, isn't he? Oh, my gosh.
Week over this. And it is nothing to, it's just, I'm so glad he fights back on his show. And he goes out and says, okay, you're going to tell me not to talk about the sexualization and mutilation of children? Now we're going to talk about it all week. So we do the same thing. The rule here is you tell us not to talk about something, we talk about it twice. Folks, they'll never stop. They'll never stop. But you have to understand, this is why the parallel economy is flourishing, why people are getting away from traditional, censorship-laden platforms and things like that, and the parallel economy is flourishing. It's also why a topic I wanted to bring up is no element for it in the show, but something I have personal experience with. The left is now doubling down on Twitter because they can no longer control the narrative on Twitter now that Elon Musk has bought it and taken the company private. They can't control the narrative anymore, right? They want to tell you a story, and traditionally Twitter, given the large number of reporters on there, Twitter was a vehicle for them to spread false narratives, like Tucker Carlson did it, and to keep it going and keep it alive. They now are upset that Twitter has allowed other people back on, Project Veritas and others, that can shut that stuff down right away. I bring it up because I read an article yesterday that now the lefties and these organized George Soros-funded groups and others, that they're out there trying to push Apple and Google to bump Twitter's app off the App Store. Something, sadly, I have experience with is what they did to Parler. Folks, we can't allow this to happen. This is clear monopolistic behavior and anti-competitive behavior. It will cause an unbelievable ruckus if they do this. I'm a little worried about it. I'm not going to smoke you up here. Apple and Google have no allegiance to free speech whatsoever. They'll let foreign governments do whatever they want, but they will not allow Twitter to move towards a free speech direction. Just keep that in mind, because they're going to continue to use stories like this and lie about them to get people shut down and apps locked out of the App Store and Twitter, I promise you. Speaking of misinformation and misinformation campaigns, because the media champions of misinformation, so's the censorship brigade on the left. Fauci's retiring. You guys say Fauci. Fauci's got, now, here's what, you hear this? Fauci's retiring. Now, here's you want my opinion on this? Here's my guess on what happened.